This is Samuel Legger here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys a series review for a new anime series called Ninja Kamui. Now, yes, there was a older Kamui the Ninja that came out in roughly the 1960s, like 1969 to 1960. 1969, I believe, is when it came out and released out through 1970. But this is a brand new story, and it follows a specific path of a ninja on a modern day level, some futuristic elements to it, that is a shinobi that is trying to make it and has a family and trying to escape the clan that is pulling him right back into the fray. So I'm gonna say honestly that this was insane. I was able to see the first two episodes, and I promise you, it is just fire. From how they frame just the first episode alone, you're gonna notice like distinct character designs that are gonna throw you off. You're gonna be like, wait, I've seen this. This character design remember something from like Ninja Scroll, or this character design reminds me of something like Berserk, or this reminds me of how stylistically this would be like Cowboy Bebop. And all those different elements are absolutely soaked and drenched into representation of how this is being carried out from an action animation style. The animation is fantastic. Every single thread of fight choreography and moments that come through this, from the very opening, I was like, what am I watching? And how is this good? The first episode is so fire that it was jarring. Like I was like, this may be too much for me. Like it's kind of felt like you give it everything you got in this first episode to pitch it that this is something that will last. This is something that people want to see and to watch. And I felt that way throughout the whole entire episode, because it was just that intense. But I think they did a really good job of using foundation in this. Foundational standpoint, meaning that the main character, Joe, is a loving husband and dad, and he's very meticulous, very careful what he does, how he does stuff. And yet at the same time, you can tell that as things start to progress, that it's getting thicker and thicker with danger. And he's trying to navigate what that looks like, but you don't really know a lot about him, like until you do. But I love the fact that I immediately resonated with him. I immediately resonated with his resolve as well as his family. Like it was such a very tender, intimate perspective on him on an emotional level. And I think even carrying on to the second episode when he kind of meets other characters, you can tell he has like ethics. He's got a code. He lives by something completely different. And I just was fascinated like how immediately they just went into this. Now, again, I have not researched this. Again, there is a older 1969 anime called Kamui the Ninja, and it's not exactly the same exact storyline, but I would be remiss to say like it's a very interesting take that you got the same exact name. Um, but either way, this feels like it's its own. Like every moment that they have on screen with the main character Joe, you're connected with whatever he's dealing with, for worse or for better. And then you have other things in this that I was surprised by, is some freaking dope representation. I'll talk about the first representation in terms of like there is a lot of American like rock, a little bit of hip hop. Like it that's why I said it reminded me a little bit of like some Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Shampoo in terms of how they use like the soundtrack with the action moments, and then moments where they choose to dial it back and use an amazing score. So I think that was really freaking dope. But the other thing is that from a representation standpoint, like one of the main characters, his name is Mike. He's a FBI agent. He's black, and I know it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but from an anime standpoint, that isn't necessarily the normal. It's kind of like either one, you have like a side character that's just really random, and then sometimes you have like an invoking character design. And I was really surprised that they went that route with it. And I'm actually really thrilled that it wasn't just him. There was some other representation as well throughout the course of this. The other part of that, this is because this takes place kind of like in a future, you don't really know what the stakes can be, because you don't know what the people are capable of. I mean, from a ninja standpoint, it is raw. Like they hold nothing back at all at any moment or any time. But at the same exact time, you absolutely know that there are forces at work that are just unnatural. And if you've seen Hell's Paradise, right? Your understanding of what a shinobi is gonna be more on lines of what this is showing. But again, I harpen back to I really appreciated the relationships. I appreciated kind of how they carried certain things as far as representation, and the animation is just excellent. Like I can't get over how high octane that first episode is, and not to say the second isn't good as well, but it's just you only have those rare moments where something just hits you and you're like, oh, I gotta see what's going on. And you're just a knee-jerk, like, oh, what did I just see? So for me, I would give this A. From A to F rating, I'd give this an A. Absolutely something that you want to watch. It is gonna be airing tonight on Toonami, and I highly recommend you go and check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this small review, non-spoiler. And if you guys want me to go and dissect each episode from week to week basis, I can absolutely do that. And go and check out our TikTok because we may be putting some more content on an individual level for each episode as well there. So I'll leave that in the description bar below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got a lot more content coming. All right, guys. Peace.
Falling off the top